What's up, my Traveling Pisces peeps? All right, listen, first and foremost, this is not a scare tactic video, but you have to admit the past recent years have shown us that we all need to be a little bit more prepared. So we all know the supply chains, they're very fragile. In the event of some type of emergency, any type of emergency, people run to the stores, they clear out the shelves, and what are you stuck with? So, in today's video, we are discussing practical ways to prep for off-grid living and a homestead. Wait a minute, scratch that. You don't even have to live off-grid. You don't have to have a homestead. This is all about preparedness. So, if you want to be a little bit more prepped and self-sufficient in the event of whatever, keep on watching. So at the end of the day, prepping is not about doomsday or scare tactics. It's about being prepared. It's about peace of mind. It's about knowing if life throws you a curveball, you and your family are not starting from zero. You have a little bit to work with. You don't have to do it all at once. Start small. Build your supplies. Anytime you buy something that you use on a regular basis, buy two if you can. Now listen, y'all, the only way you're going to fail at prepping is if you don't start.
So I started with the things that I know my family, we eat a lot of tomato-based things. So I always have spaghetti sauce on hand. And it's not just for spaghetti. I use it in chili. I use it in a bunch of other tomato-based recipes that I use. So I try to keep everything in place. And as you see, I need to go pull some stuff out of my other stuff that I have put away because I am getting low after the holidays. So anyway, yeah, so I keep everything pasta-wise in one area. So like different kinds of noodles, spaghettis, pennes, whatever. I'll have my spaghetti sauce. I'll have different things that I use in these type of recipes. My chipotles and adobe, jalapenos, corn, chili for chili dogs, tomato sauce, chili beans, all kinds of different stuff. Now, these are things that me and my family like to eat. It might not be you. So you really have to look and say, okay, what kind of staples do I need to make the recipes that I go to the most? And then like for us, I have on hand different beans. I'll have red beans so I can make my Monday beans. Black beans, they're dried. I usually have cans as well, but I've used those up. I definitely have to get to the grocery store. Breadcrumbs. You want to have rice, a couple of different kinds. If you eat a lot of rice, we do with different recipes. So I'll have like long grain white rice that I'll use in the rice cooker. And then if I want to do something quick, I'll do the boil in the bag. And then you see I also have some of the little packets back there for microwave. So yeah, so rice and then grits. We eat shrimp and grits quite a bit. As well as other breakfast staples, things like that. And then flour in the back. And you don't have to have all of your prep items out like this. Ours are in storage up in the loft. I only keep these shelves stocked with the things that I use on a regular. And then once I use them, like I said, I got to go shopping upstairs and pull down a couple more of my spaghetti jars. And then what I'll do is as I pull them out of my stock upstairs, I will then go ahead and buy more. Let's see what else. Great things to have on hand are like tuna salad with crackers. We eat those a lot. I like to make different meals. I do seafood lasagna, seafood chowder. So I always have different kinds of things on hand for that. Coconut milk, that goes in a lot of our meals. And then there's the easy basics. I mean, you've got your
cans of tuna, soup that you can use just by itself or in meals, corn, vegetables, peanut butter, all that good stuff. But again, it's not about exactly what you need to have on your list. It's about what you guys would use on every day and what is going to sustain your family in an emergency situation. And then there's some things that people don't even think about, like marinades that you like to use. Keep stocked up on those. The seasonings, I use my Slap Ya Mama all the time. That and my blackened seasoning. So I always keep extras on hand for those. And you got to think about those things you can't live without, the comfort things. I love my hot tea in the morning, so I always want to make sure that I have a couple of boxes on hand. And I can also make iced tea out of these. And then for Aaron, it's usually his coffee. So we've got different kinds of coffee that he likes. And then don't forget your protein shakes. Those are great to have on hand.
You can't forget about your fur pups. Do you have enough food on hand for them as well? And then one thing about being self-sufficient is being able to grow your own stuff. So you want to have a huge amount. Well, okay, I say huge amount just because, that's what we do. But you want to have seeds on hand, different seeds. Know which ones grow in your area, what the harvest time is on them. All right, so you don't need to be a master gardener. There's just a few basics that will really help you succeed. First off, I go ahead and, here, I'm going to show you these. I go ahead and have large Ziploc bags. And on the Ziploc bag, I write the last frost date for my area, and then what the date would be 8 weeks prior to that, and what that actual date is. So a lot of seeds you will see on the back. Here, let's see. Start seeds indoors 8 weeks before planting outdoors. You want to do them before your last frost. And then what I do is I take the seed packets and I put them in this Ziploc bag. That way there's no me having to go through every single packet to see what I can go ahead and get planted right away. And then any of the ones that are for direct sow, meaning that you want to plant them directly outdoors, I go ahead and I take a look at, and I'll put them in their own Ziploc bag with direct sowed on it. And then I will go by the little doohickey on the back of when it is best to be planting. So right now for these spinach, you guys have seen I have a bunch planted. It's best to plant in our area September through April. Luckily, it's a 45-day to harvest, and they're cut and come again, so we've been eating off of these all winter long. But that is a really easy way to keep things organized.
Now, y'all know I said earlier you don't have to live off-grid, and you don't have to have a lot of land to be prepared. You can start growing your own food even if you live in the tiniest of apartments. Turn that entertainment stand, the one that's collecting all the dust, into a plant stand. Get a few grow lights and some heat mats and create a container garden. The great thing about growing your food indoors is that it can be done year-round. Now, when growing, think practical. Grow the things that you know that you and your family are going to eat and that you don't have to have a very long harvest time for. What things are great to freeze? Spinach, kale, collards, and broccoli. Shelter, food, water. Let's say it again. Shelter, food, water. One more time for those in the back of the class not listening. Shelter, food, water. If you do have the space, consider getting a deep freezer or an extra refrigerator. Now, don't forget you need to have the backups to the backup. What are you going to be doing for power and different ways to cook? Oh, and remember I mentioned each time you buy something that you use regularly at the store, buy an extra one? Keep those Amazon boxes and fill them up a little bit at a time. Toothpaste, toothbrushes, hand sanitizer, soap, batteries, non-perishables, lighters, matches, things you're gonna use, things you might need. Don't overwhelm yourself though by thinking of how to get prepared. Just start doing it a little bit at a time and you will get there. I promise you can be successful at prepping. Focus on what you use in your everyday real life. Water, food, skills. Build the foundation and everything else will come with it. All right, y'all. I appreciate you sticking around for this video. If you like it, give a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give a thumbs down. Leave a comment. Let me know what tips you do for prepping. If you care, go ahead and share. All right, y'all. Until next time. Ciao for now. Shelter, food, water.